Don't stop.
Hi, thanks so much for joining me on the Everything and Anything in a Bit Gay podcast. I'm your host, Zach Randall-Friedman, and I am bringing you a very interesting guest today. So let's just talk about the gay community first. So the gay community has so many different types of people in it. So you have bears and otters and twinks and cubs and transgender people, drag queens, drag kings. You have people that are into BDSM. You have circuit club queens. I mean, you have all types, like the LGBTQ plus community. The reason why there's so many alphabets in that is because there's so many people. That's why we added the plus, because there's just plus. There's bisexual people. Anybody I left out, there's so many. But when I was living in Dallas for a very short year and a half, which felt like an eternity because Dallas was not my spot, I was with my friends Brian and Shane, and we were walking in the neighborhood, walking from one bar to the other. And there was these guys across the street that were wearing these masks that looked like dog faces. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And they're like, oh, those are pups. You don't know what a pup is? I'm like, no. So Dallas is very rarely under 100 degrees. Like, it's so hot there all the time. It's either like a frozen tundra, which I have been there for, where it's like everything is frozen, the entire city is shut down for several days, or it's just like 1,000,000 degrees outside. And this time it was 1,000,000 degrees because I remember thinking, how is that person wearing that latex or leather or whatever it is mask? Because it's a mask that looks like a dog. And I just like, I was so fascinated by like the whole culture, because he had a collar around his neck, and there was somebody that had a leash. He wasn't on his he was like not crawling or anything, but like he was somebody's like dog. So it's a whole culture, and I don't understand it. And I'm trying to find a pup to interview so I can have him come on my show. I actually had one that I found on TikTok, and he was going to book and everything, and then he blocked me because I guess he got scared. So I don't know. Happens. People back out. There's been a couple people like that on TikTok who are like, yeah, I'll come on. And then all of a sudden I'm like, here's the link, book the time. And they never book it. And I asked them like twice. After twice, I'm like, I'm done with you. Then I block you. So my guest today, let's get back to that. He is not a pup, but he is a furry. So for those of you who do not know what a furry is a person that dresses up like, I don't want to say like if you go to Disney World, like Mickey Mouse or Pluto or anything like that, because the costume isn't like that. The costume is usually around some type of, like he's like a wolf, dog, something. So maybe you could dress like a panda bear. I don't know. Like they're not, most of the people, I guess most of the furries I've seen on TikTok are like, look like a dog or a wolf or a mix of something, or I don't know. Think of something like that. So he told me that these costumes that they have made, because I guess they got to fit you, can be between $7,500 to $10,000. And they go to conferences and conventions, and they have other friends that are furries, and it's like a whole thing. I want to also have a little disclaimer that I am not a journalist. That means I do not go in and do like 3 points of confirmation about stories I do, because I'm literally finding some of these people on TikTok. Like I found this guy today named Mika, and he is telling me his story. And there is a disturbing part of his story, and his disturbing part is that he lived in Israel. He was an army sniper, he said. And he had 4 biological children that were killed in the attack on Israel on October 7th. And I confirmed via DM afterwards that those, in fact, were his biological children, and he said correct. So I have no other way to confirm this. I'm going by what he said, and I felt horrible. I was shocked when he told me that. And it's sad, but that's not what the basis of the story is, though. It's a very short part of this interview that I did with him, but I just wanted to kind of warn you about that ahead of time because it's very sad if he had 4 children that were killed during that time. So it's very disturbing. But if you are interested in learning about what a furry is, and you're interested to learn like what they do and how they live their lives and all that stuff, this is the interview for you. So I hope you enjoy my interview with Mika. It was very interesting. I've not done an interview like that, and I, do whatever you want to do as long as it doesn't hurt anybody is kind of my feeling about things. And he's not hurting anybody. He's living his life as a furry, and good for him. So thanks so much for listening. I'll be back later this week or tomorrow with my next guest. Thanks. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me on the Everything and Anything and a Bit Gay podcast. Today, I have a new guest that you have not met before. I'm going to let him introduce himself because I'm not sure what to call him. Can you tell me what you'd like to be called on the podcast?
You can call me Mika.
Mika. Okay, nice to meet you, Mika. So Mika, if you're watching this video, you can see that Mika is actually part of the furry world. And
yes, I am.
So for someone that doesn't know what a furry is, Mika, can you kind of explain to my audience what a furry is?
So the Furry Fandom started out as actually a comfort fandom for abused people.
Okay.
That was like its original intention. But then in the 90s, when it became a thing, it became much more of like more of an 18 plus thing. But now it's more back to the way it should have been in the first place. And it's growing traction every year. But basics, it's people that express themselves through anthropomorphic beings, sort of like a drag queen.
Okay. Awesome. And so how did you discover the whole furry world? Like, did you have a friend that introduced it to you? Did you see somebody? Because I know there's conventions and stuff that people go to as well. So
actually, I fell in love with it back in my home country through watching media.
Okay, cool. Where are you from originally?
Israel.
Okay, cool. And do they have furries actually in Israel, or is it you only seen it on?
Actually, there are some that I found it later on in my adult life during my military career.
Oh, okay, cool. And what kind of drew you to being a furry? Like what kind of made you want to be a part of that world?
With the people, the artwork, the culture. All it is about loving each other. That's literally the whole fandom is just love.
That's awesome. And really anybody could be a part of it, right? Because you're not, it sounds like it's not a judging community. You can be whoever you want to be. And tell me if I'm wrong about any of this, but you can kind of be whoever you want to be, and you're not judged, and you're kind of, it sounds like you're kind of brought in, to a community that you can feel a part of.
Yeah, you're basically brought in like as part of just the family.
And how did you pick your character, and did your character ever change?
I did actually have one during my more depressed years of this. She still exists.
Okay.
Her name is Sarah, so she's an incubus skull dog, hellhound.
Okay.
And then Mika is my newer Sona that I came up with. Mika was actually first, then Sarah.
Okay.
Then the Mika.
And do you ever go back to Sarah?
Yeah, I do sometimes. I still have.
What was it like the first time that you met other people that were part of the furry community?
It was actually very wonderful to meet other people that are like me.
Yeah.
Because it's the only community, besides maybe like the anime community, that I've come across that no matter what you are in your real life, when you're in that world, they don't care. They just see your Sona.
Yeah. And do you meet people outside of the furry world? Like if you would take off your costume, are you friends with people that would take off their costume? Okay.
Yeah, so I've been in it for a long time.
Okay.
I've seen people that they revolve their entire life around the fandom. They actually become rather toxic towards non-furry people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's a culture. You have the ones that are like diehards in it. Like, You have some, not very many. Majority of the community is like me. Like, they don't care if you're furry, not furry,
Mm.
straight, whatever. They don't care.
And are furries more part of the LGBTQ plus world, or is it like split, or it's just like a little of
It's
everything?
it's honestly more split now.
Okay.
It was originally the original conception was LGBTQ plus culture.
Okay.
It's a very great way for people who are transgender to actually express their gender, asexuals, etc.
Oh yeah, I never thought about that. So it really
Yeah,
gives
because
somebody that's maybe not comfortable being transgender in public, but they can do this and then be who they are.
yeah,
And
because I'm friends with one that is transgender. She is an absolute darling. Her name is Astral. She actually has a full female dragon fursuit. She spent 75,000 USD on it.
wow, wow, that's a $75,000. And you
That's on the high end, even for fursuits. Average cost for full bodies between 5 to 20.
so to have your persona built, it's between $5,000 and $20,000. And are you customizing it yourself? Like you're kind of
Yes,
okay.
it's customized by the creator.
And is everybody using the same kind of creator, or is there different kind of creators depending on?
There's a lot of different creators, and also you have people that make their own. So
Okay.
it's a combination. You have some people that are very gifted at making suits. Suits take between 3 to 6 months if you get it commissioned.
Wow.
I have a partial that was 1,500. That's head, paws, tail.
And then do people live their entire day as a furry sometimes?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Majority of the fandom, they have normal 9 to 5s, normal life.
Yeah.
They're doing their normal life outside of it. The furry fandom is seeing more the hobby rather than a life.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Before you kind of became a furry, you talked a little bit about kind of being depressed and stuff. Did you go through a depression point where you kind of didn't know who you were or trying to figure out who you were and stuff? And did this help you?
The furry fandom definitely was a very great comfort for me because I did 7.5 years as an Israeli sniper.
Wow, that's
So, and I've seen a lot of bad things
I'm
happen.
sure you
Like
did.
I've seen lots of my brothers and sisters be unalived. I'm trying to use friendly language.
Yeah, yeah.
I went through October the 7th,
Wow.
where I lost 4 kids, and my entire town was raided. So really, the fandom is also an escape for me, and it helped me actually come to terms of all the stuff, because I do actually have MPD from service,
Okay.
from having to repress all my emotions, and in the furry fandom, through doing artwork, through just building sonas, was able to help me get those emotions out without having to express said emotions.
Yeah. I'm so sorry you went through that. When you say you lost 4 kids, were they your actual children or they were just children of the community?
No, they were my biological kids. They were kids from my ex-wife.
I'm so sorry that you lost 4 I'm so sorry. I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say because that's horrible. I'm so sorry you went through that.
I grew up there. I've seen conflict since the age of 3.
Wow. And when you live in Israel, going through the military is kind of part of what you have to do whenever you're
It's mandatory. There is no dodging it. If you are 18 years or older, under the age of 35, you must serve, man or woman.
And you don't have to say where you live, but are you in the United States now or are you in a different country?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I left there in April after being medically discharged.
And do you feel more safe being here now in the United States compared to being in Israel?
Yeah, I actually feel safer here in the U.S.
Yeah.
Just due to the geography.
Yeah.
We're away from harm.
Yeah, especially with what's happening now in the Middle East, it's really insane. So, don't want to get into politics, but I just I'm really sorry. I mean, it's hard not to in today's world. But
Yeah.
what do you think the biggest misconception people have, kind of about the furry community?
that just because we have anthropomorphic beings as representations of ourselves, that we are those creatures,
Okay.
or that we love animals, or that we love kids, because like it's very childlike in terms of expressions for a lot of them, and also there's the adult side.
Yeah.
So yes, there are cases of it, but it's so rare and so far between. It's not frequent at all.
Yeah. And what's a kind of a typical kind of when you go to one of these conventions or conferences, what is it like? I mean, it must be really freeing to be able to go. I'm assuming they have different events
Oh
and
yeah, room parties.
yeah. So tell me about like a typical day at a furry convention. Like what's that
All
like?
right. So first day, you go in there, get your badge. When you first go in, you have to wait in long lines if you don't get there really, really early. If you get there right on time, depending on the size of the con, smaller cons have fewer events, but if you go to something like Anthro,
Mhm.
there's literally everything for somebody.
Okay.
Whether you're looking for more the 18 plus side, a rave, DJ events, mosh pits, any kind of, and it varies from con to con and region to region as well, because it is a very multinational thing now. I mean, there's even ones all the way in Indonesia,
Wow.
which I have no experience with that, but I have some friends that have.
And how many people kind of attend? Like how many people do you think attended the last one that you went to?
To the 3,000
Wow, that's amazing.
in a hotel.
Okay. So you're basically taking over the whole hotel, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But it's spread out throughout 3 days, so not everybody is there from first day to last day.
Okay.
A lot of people are there, like either like the day where all the big events are, because the events vary from day to day. The last day, a lot of people just leave because there's all the events are done with, like they're packing up, they're putting everything away.
So let me just ask you, I think some of the what people think about furries is that it's kind of all about sex, it's like you're having sex, and that's from what you said, it sounds like that's not at all what it's about. I mean, I'm sure there is sex happening, but
Not entirely.
yeah.
It is a big, let me tell you though, it is a big part of the community.
Okay.
I mean, if you watch Beastars and stuff like that, which is an anime, that sort of gives you an idea. There's a lot of it in culture, like Robin Hood is considered, like the Disney movie Robin Hood. Anything
Yeah.
that has anthropomorphic creatures, that is technically a glimpse into our culture.
Okay. And so can I ask a question about the sex piece? Just because I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're having sex with somebody at a furry convention, are you both in kind of in your costume?
Typically not.
No.
Not.
Okay.
Typically, because first of all, you don't want to ruin a $3,000 to $5,000 suit.
Yes, that's true. You don't want to do that.
Up to $10,000 to $20,000 suits, and some people have even more expensive suits than that.
Wow. Yeah. No, you would not want to ruin that. So
Now there is an 18 plus section of fursuits called mersuits,
okay.
where they either have manufactured access points, I'm going to say,
Okay. Yep.
or there's zippers that you unzip that give you access to their parts.
Gotcha. And if somebody comes up to you and they're maybe assuming that they want it to be purely sexual and you're not, do they respect those boundaries for you?
Oh yeah, everybody in that fandom, 95% or higher, will definitely respect your wishes.
Okay.
Like people will even ask if they can hug you or boop you, which is just like a little tap on the nose, like that.
Yeah. And we'll be right back. Okay, now back to the show. What do you think have you told people outside of kind of your furry community? Like, do your friends, so I don't know, like how many friends you've made since you've almost been here a year. So, when you came over from Israel a year ago, like, have you met people that are outside of the furry community and you've said, hey, this is what I do?
I have a lot of friends, even some of my military buddies that I've met. Like they're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's an easy way of expressing yourself.
Yeah, and is that kinda how you look at it? Is like, this is just how you express yourself, you enjoy it, it brings you
Yeah.
joy, and, like, it doesn't hurt anybody, so who cares? I mean, that's kind of how I see it as for you, it's like
What I use it for is to spread positivity in the world. The world's full of too much negativity.
yes, it is.
So I pretty much use it, especially my TikTok. My TikTok is definitely a place where if somebody needs to talk about something, there's other people there that are going to care about them. I call it like my little house or my little clan.
Yeah,
Everybody there is treated equally, and the only time that people are ever questioned is if it's not in a constructive behavior, like it's repeat behavior, because sometimes we view that as attention seeking, especially when they're blurting out stuff that, because a lot of people in the fandom, they do go through a lot of deep mental health problems,
okay.
depression, that kind of stuff, dysmorphia. Like people in the fandom, they know what mental health is because a lot of them have it.
And then is that maybe one of the reasons why they have kind of turned to finding this community is because they've had these mental health and they feel like they can
Not always,
seek
not
comfort.
always.
Okay,
People fall in love with it just because of the way that people are treated.
okay.
People are treated with respect, like you can go hang out, go drink with them, go have a sesh with them, and like it never gets awkward, it never goes down the 18 plus path, really, most cases, unless if you're hinting at it and somebody misinterprets what you're saying or representing.
And would you ever like, how do you identify? You said you had a wife, so are you straight? Are you part of the
I
LGBTQ?
I am I am not. I have been homosexual since the age of 18.
Okay.
Like actually homosexual.
Okay. And would you ever date somebody that's not part of no, that's not a furry, or would you prefer to kind of keep somebody so you can do the conferences and cons together and stuff like that? Tell me a little bit about
Oh,
that.
I don't care if somebody is a furry or not. I go based off of their soul, not what they do.
Okay.
I judge people based off of their soul and their character rather than what they look like, because looks change. Even in the fandom, a lot of people leave, come and go in the fandom.
Mhm.
Like they'll love the community, but like they're just not a part of it anymore.
Yeah. What's I can imagine that when you're on TikTok, I know you do TikTok lives often, and when somebody comes on there and what do you do when those negative trolls? Because there's trolls all over TikTok.
I just ignore them.
Okay.
I'm retired military, bro. I don't care about a couple rude comments here and there. Some content creators do get overwhelmed with it, and then I'm like, just ignore them. If you ignore them, you give them no power. They just sort of leave you alone.
Yeah.
Like if you just sort of like react or laugh at them, like then it takes away their ammo. But what those types of people are looking for are the ones that can rage bait. And when you've been in the fandom for at least like a couple years, you've heard every joke in the book, the hunting season joke, the oh, do you use a litter bugs joke, or do you eat pet food joke?
Oh, really?
You hear all the jokes under the sun, and then it's just like, whatever, get some new content.
Why do you think people are like? I mean, I guess that's just how people are. But like, why do you think people would even care? Like, I just like you're not hurting anybody, so like, why can't they just live? You can just live your life and not you. Why do they care? Do you think?
It's the fact that it's just people who don't understand it, or they only see what's on the internet, so they only see the bad side of the fandom.
Yeah.
Our fandom does have a dark side.
Tell me about that. I know you're not part of that, but tell me about what the dark side is.
There have been quite a few incidences of stuff involving with minors, animals, that kind of stuff.
Mm.
But we call them the exiled ones. Once they're found out, they cannot go to conventions anymore. They usually actually get turned into the authorities.
Okay.
Like they will actually find where this person is and who they actually are. There's so many different people in the fandom. You can't hide like a criminal record from them.
Yeah.
They'll find it. Especially if you're a streamer like me. I've had a couple incidences of running into some of them. And usually they just do PSAs and warn other communities. That's the whole point of our fandom, is that we care about each other. So when there's a problematic person, whether it just be they're extremely toxic or they're harmful to the community, they
Yeah.
get outed.
Yeah, and they know these rules, right? So whenever they come apart, so they break them and then they get found out and then they're out.
We call it like the counts, like the furry code.
Hmm.
Okay, so I do have to say though that when I do interact with somebody underaged, I always make sure that there's an adult present with them.
Okay.
I never interact with them alone.
And you're talking about just like having a conversation with them at a conference. Yeah.
Yes. Like, or if they want to take a photo, I'm like, you gotta go get your parent first, or your
Okay.
guardian, whoever's in charge of you.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, that's great that you had those kind of boundaries and rules, and that way there's never, you can't, a parent or whoever, a child could never say this happened and try to make something that didn't happen,
Also, always have a buddy with you. Always have a buddy, especially when you're in a full suit. Always have a handler that knows you.
Okay.
Like actually knows you, like knows like you have certain health conditions, certain stuff with like mental health, like ADHD, autism, social anxiety, etc. Because they can sort of you can sort of get lost in the sauce. Let's put it that way. Where you start getting overwhelmed, and they can be like, "Hey, come on, we're going this way."
And when you said something about children, but you also said something about animals. So if people would have some type of relationship, like a sexual relationship with an animal, and is that what people have done in the past that you found out about?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I can name some infamous ones. There's several of them. I'm not going to name names.
Yeah, no, you don't have to.
Know. But there's several of them. They're known in the fandom.
Yeah.
They're exiled. They pretty much cannot do anything with the fandom.
And do they just take being a furry just to a next level, or
no. They had that even before they were in the fandom.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. That's not cool.
Unfortunately, though, with the fandom, it does attract that crowd.
Yeah.
Especially in recent years, there's been more incidences of it. When I first joined, it was very rare that it would happen, but now it seems to be becoming more frequent, especially with the internet.
Yeah.
And the fact that they know that kids actually feel comfortable around furries and stuff like that. Because furries are just goofy characters. Like over, I would say 99% of the community, like if a kid were to come up and say, "Hey, I want to take a photo with you," it'd be just innocent, and then they'll give them. I always give a fist bump. I don't really accept hugs from minors.
Yeah. I mean, that's the smart thing to do because it's
especially nowadays, because it's not always the adult that gets in trouble. That they can think a hug is innocent, and then it gets blown out of proportion.
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad to hear you say that that's how you kind of control it and how you have these boundaries and stuff. So that's really, I think that's an important thing that listeners my listeners should know, that it's not about children or animals. And there's people that have done that, but they, like you said, they're exiled from your community, and that's not who you are. So that's really, I think, an important thing for people to know.
I mean, if you get caught or even reported doing that kind of stuff, you'll either be turned into the authorities or you'll be banned from every single con. They'll know your name.
Wow.
Like the staff there will be like, "Oh yeah, we know who you are. You can't come in here."
And do you want to have, so you have Mika right now, and you have Sarah, which is your other one. Will you have new ones in the future?
Possibly. You never know. Because as you're in it, you can sort of create new ones over time.
And how are you creating this? And how did you create the persona that you are now with Mika? Is it something that you kind of just, that just part of your personality, and you use your imagination of how to kind of build this one?
So Mika was my first.
Okay.
I wanted something that combined with my love of D&D and fantasy. So
Okay.
he is a Viking polar bear hybrid with a husky. He was actually very inspired by my D&D character,
Okay.
who's a bear folk.
And how many conferences or cons are there like throughout the year? And are you and I'm assuming they're all over. I mean, you said Indonesia, so they're all over the world. But you're in the United States. Are there several kind of throughout the United States that take place?
Oh, there's about like 60 different cons in the United States, small ones
Wow.
and big ones. Just about every state has one, for the most part. Maybe some of your more rural states don't have them
Yeah.
just because they don't have the space for it or the need for it. But definitely all East Coast states that I'm aware of, even Vermont has one. Most of the Midwest has at least one small con somewhere.
Yeah.
But a lot of the smaller ones, it's more of like you hear about it or somebody tells you about it. But like the really big ones is Megaplex. Anthro's the largest one in the world. I mean, they've had to cap it at 180,000 people.
180,000.
Mm-hmm. For the
Wow.
whole week.
That
Because they only allow 18,000 at least this is last year's regulations. They only allowed 18,000 in at a time.
and where's that? What city is that located in?
Pittsburgh.
I mean, that is a huge boost to the Pittsburgh economy, having that many people come into town for a
Yeah,
conference.
during that event, 2.3 million people come into that area
Wow.
because it's the holy grail of the furry conventions.
And
I
what
mean,
time?
you can August.
August. Okay.
No, not August. Hold on. Yeah, no, it isn't August. Never mind.
Um, I'm just thinking, like in the summer, if you're outside wearing this, do you get hot, or is mostly things are indoors?
Yes, you get hot even during the winter.
Okay.
These things get like 86 degrees.
Oh wow. And then if you're
But a
outside
lot
in
of
the
people get
summer,
fans.
okay. Oh, so you have like a fan built inside or something, or you can put a fan inside.
Some do. You could also purchase them off of Amazon. Any
Okay.
kind of cooling you can get. And the biggest key is hydrate, 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 hydrate.
Yeah.
And eat something before you wear it. Do not just go in there empty stomach, haven't drinking anything. And make sure you're primarily drinking water.
Yeah.
Because the average fursuit can weigh, depending on how much padding you have, can be anywhere between like 10 to 25 pounds.
Wow.
If you're a very extra padded, like a plus size furry, as I call them, or a chub fur, it can be a little heavier than that, depending on how much padding's in there.
And what would you say to somebody that's curious about this, but they're nervous or afraid to do it? What would you say what should they do? Should they come maybe on?
Explore it.
Yeah. Should they maybe come on your live and even ask questions
I
in your
would
live?
definitely say that. I would definitely say, go to content creators. TikTok is a great platform for it because there's a lot of us there.
Okay.
There's a lot of us that do streaming on TikTok, Twitch. The streaming community, though, can be 50-50 because sometimes drama does break out between content creators. But for the most part, it's also a great way of meeting fursuit makers, fursona artists. It's a great way of just meeting people in the community and the variety.
Yeah.
Or you can you can do some research on it. See if there's events. There's an app called Bark.
Okay.
It's very discreet. You don't have to have a Sona. You can be a non-furry on there, and it's a great way to find events.
And do you have friends that are local to where you live at now that are?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And
I have Woodsy, Dova. I have Carbon. I have quite a few from my first con in the U.S.
And do you guys get together just at somebody's house and, kind of, I don't know.
Not since the con, but it's very hard to coordinate schedules because when you're at a con, you're on vacation mode.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a break for everybody from life. I mean, I've met actually a few. There's Elra. Elra was literally in my count. Is literally in the same county I am.
Okay.
So like we used to hang out here and there. Like we hung out once. There's another one, Otto. I used to hang out with him a little bit.
And have you met a boyfriend through this?
Yeah, my current fiance.
Okay, congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah, he and I met on VR chat.
What's VR chat? Is that just a app for?
It's basically an app where you get an avatar and you sort of explore worlds or instances where there's other people and you sort of socialize with people.
Awesome. And we'll be right back. Okay, and now back to the show. Tell everybody what your TikTok channel name is, so if they want to come in, and I also put it in the description of this podcast or video, so people can click on it and go right to it. But just let people know and kind of let them know like what you're talking about or what a typical live session would be like.
So my TikTok name is Mika the Busky 25. You'll find it. It has a profile picture of like a bear and a husky like creature having northern lights in the background. So and you also see this on there. That's how you'll know it's actually me.
Okay.
I do debates on Mondays and Tuesdays where it can be anything from politics to current events to just random stuff. But typically it's a chill out room, multi-guest. If you're over the age of 18, you can come up in a box if there's space. You can come interact with us. I do have something for if somebody does large donations. I have Zappies. I have a Pi Shock system. So it's synced up to the stream via a laptop that if somebody gives certain amounts, it gives a small zap for like 5 seconds to... actually, no, it goes up to 15 minutes if it's a uni.
Okay. I don't know what that means, but you can kind of zap somebody based on.
Yeah. Okay. And also I have every 5K likes equals a bark.
Oh, okay. So you would bark, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm doing stuff with the suit. Sometimes most of the time I just have a picture up because it takes a lot of energy being in this suit for like 3 to 4 hours.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Plus, I'm sure, like you said, it's hot too. It's 86 degrees in the suit. So I'm sure that.
Yeah, and it's warm in this house a lot because of where the sunlight is. And my streaming area is either my bedroom or the basement.
Okay.
So it gets very warm up in my bedroom because of the sun.
I want to ask you, like, when I was, I don't know, like, 15 years ago, I had a friend that I worked with, and he said he was going to a brony convention. I know that's different. That's like the My Little Pony. Do you have any thoughts on the bronies, or is that something that doesn't really exist anymore? Or
it still exists. I would say that it's a much more niche community.
Okay.
I have a close friend that either was in it or still is in it.
Okay, and it's very similar where you can kind of pick your character or your persona and kind of express yourself.
Now there is sort of like a mold you follow. Like you sort of get attached to one of the My Little Ponies.
Okay.
You sort of embrace one of them.
Okay, got it. Maybe that's whole nother show. Maybe you can get your friend to come on my show and talk about being a brony.
Oh my gosh. No, he doesn't really talk about it. That's around people that he trusts enough to know it, because that community does get a lot of heat from it. Even from us. We don't really so we don't like when people fantasize about characters.
Okay.
We don't like when people are like fantasizing about like child characters.
Okay, so so it's more, is a brony more about the sexualization of the My Little Pony?
Yeah, it's more of a kink thing than an actual culture. I mean, yes, there's a culture there, but it's more of the 18+ side.
Okay, I had no idea. I didn't realize that. Okay, yeah, that
it's sort of like it. I would say. Now, do you want to know it's one community, actually 2 communities that really blend in with ours? The Pup Play community and the Therians.
I'm sorry, what was the first one?
The Pup Play.
Oh, Pup Play, yes. I would love to interview somebody that is because when I lived in Dallas for a very short time, there was a large community there that was part of the pup play community, and I really wanted to see. I really want to have one of them on my show to kind of understand that. So tell me how they align to the furry community.
A lot of them are actually furries themselves. They
Okay.
just are also puppets. I'm also going to show you how to take care of this too.
Okay. Yeah, show me.
I'll just go off screen with my face so that
Yeah.
way I'll just put him in the camera.
Okay.
You always want to have this,
Yes.
some kind of fursuit spray. It always has this. I recommend scented, but not everybody can do scented because some people have allergies to perfumes
Okay.
or certain scents. And you always get a brush.
Okay.
This is a fursuit brush. You always have one of those. And what I always do, I sort of just start brushing them. I do this about once a week.
And this is just to maintain it so it doesn't start getting ratty or dirty or whatever, right? Just because I mean, you spent a lot of money on it. So you want to
Especially
make
after a con.
Yeah.
Especially during a con. If you spill something on a fursuit, God help you.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't imagine spending that much money and then it's like you ruin
You
it.
also want to get the inside, get loose strains out. Oh my gosh, that is so annoying, getting a loose strain in your mouth.
Yeah.
You get a lot of those. I call them a choking hazard.
Yeah.
But I love it. I love doing this. I got him in September, so he's relatively new. You can usually have a fursuit for like 5 to 10 years without repairs.
Okay. Well, I'm so thankful that you came on my show because I think a lot of people were curious about this. I mean, I've thought about it. You know, I've seen it online. I thought about having a guest on, and I'm so happy that you came on and
I don't mind talking about it. And if you really want to meet some interesting people, talk to Gray Muzzles.
What is that? Somebody that's on TikTok?
Gray Muzzles is the older furries. They've been in the fandom for a very long time. Like they were there during the beginning era of it.
Okay. How long has it been around?
The 60s.
Wow.
I mean, I know somebody who was one of the first con was in the 90s. Anthro.
Yeah. And wow, that's kind of crazy. It's kind of like it's its own secret society in some ways, it sounds like.
It was for many, many years because, you know, even being a homosexual male in the 90s was not seen as a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you would get hurt for it.
Well, it's kind of like almost what trans people are going through now, where they're having to almost hide in some ways, where I felt like they were able to come out and be themselves. And now
actually, I would say that as long as you're not like being very like pushy about it, most people are like, okay, this person is different.
Yeah.
Like this has always been my debate with transgenderism. If you actually truly are, you don't get offended if you look like a man and somebody calls you a man. You just sort of like say, because usually, this is at least from the transgender friends that I have.
Yeah.
They usually are like, I usually tell only like really close friends about it.
Yeah.
Like until they're fully transitioned, where they can actually be who they are. They don't necessarily, majority of the community does not get offended if they're called a man or a woman. Because people who get offended by that kind of stuff, it's because they are also still struggling with the insecurity part about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's really the biggest thing that community particularly has. A lot of people have body image issues.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of my closest friends, his name is Sal, but she'll still be called she because she looks like a woman.
Mm-hmm.
He says the hardest thing though is just the body image, the dysmorphia part, because you're trying to find how to get your real true self out.
Before we end, I just wanted to ask you, whenever you're doing you talked about doing kind of political debates. Um, I'm assuming you're more left leaning because
Actually, I'm center.
you are.
I'm a universalist. I
Okay.
don't judge. What somebody's belief system is somebody's belief system, and I always believe in embracing other people's culture.
Yeah.
Even if you don't agree with their culture, you got to think about it though. It's their belief system. When you start, this is why a lot of people really like how I think, because I don't see things in black and white. I see things as gray. I see the gray. I can see both sides to an argument.
Yeah.
Even when people are, because like I've done a lot of debates about my home country, and a lot of people don't like what we do, and then I'm like, well, it's not the people doing it, it's the government. And then some people get all the way down to the fields of the people need to go, and then I'm like, you can't displace people just because you don't like them. You may not like what the government does, but that doesn't represent everybody. It's like everything in life. Everything is gray.
Yeah.
Life is the beautiful shades of gray.
Well, I like what you said at the beginning of the podcast, where you were just like, you kind of invite people, like it sounds like your community wants to treat people with kindness and respect and stuff. So that's
and that's also that's the majority of our community. They will treat you with kindness as long as you're respectful to them.
Yeah.
Like if you come off right off the bat, starting asking like unusual questions, like the typical questions that aggravate us as members of the furry fandom, I'm going to get them back on for like the last few minutes. I took a little breather.
Okay.
Not one. But I definitely will tell the non-furry community. The furry community will welcome you in, irregardless of if you're a part of it or not. It's not a cult, so you don't have to be one to be in it.
Yeah.
It's as long as you're just respectful. Like that's all we care about is respect.
Yeah.
Be respectful and just be a human being. That's also how I live my life. Just be human. Treat humans as humans, not as labels.
I wish more people felt the way you did, because that's the world I would like to live in. So I really like it that you say that, because I wish people would just respect, as long as you're not hurting anybody, I wish people would just be like, okay, I respect it.
Exactly. That is my belief system. If your belief is not causing harm to society, or it's not dangerous to other people around you.
Yeah.
Like if you wanna go believe something crazy, go believe something crazy. Who are we to tell you no? As long as you're not harming things that don't have consent.
Yeah. Or just harming anybody, like you don't want to harm anybody. Like I just wish people would be more kind. If somebody is transgender, or they just want to cross dress, or they want to be a furry, or be whatever they want to be, if it's not hurting anybody, who cares? That's how
that's exactly my point of view of the whole world. I do not judge people based off of anything. Like all opinions are valid. Even if they're like really messed up opinions of the world, but it comes from somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I just really want to thank you for coming on. And, again, you cleared up a lot of things for me about the furry community. And I just want to say I'm so glad that you really raised the point about anybody violates kind of animals or children, they're out. I love that, because I think that's so important for people to know. And I mean, you answered so many of my questions, and I think a lot of my listeners probably had a preconceived notion of what a furry was, and I think you probably changed their mind. I mean, you changed my view of it and stuff, and I totally respect it, and I'm glad that you can be who you want to be.
I've been proud of who I am. Always, I show pride in who I am, because the only way that you feel shame about yourself is if you let the negative comments about who you want to be affect you.
Yeah.
Like for example, if for example, a lot of people in the furry fandom, when they're first joining, yes, they're going to get a lot of heat for it, either from their folk, their friends, their coworkers that they find out. It's really nothing to be ashamed of. It's not a shameful thing to be a part of a community. But I would say, though, that if somebody, typically people just are hateful to things that they either one are ignorant to try to understand, or they just don't like the understanding.
Yeah.
Because my folk were against it up until they started seeing what I was doing on the internet. I mean, they still don't like it, but they respect it.
Who did you say, your family?
Yeah, my folk. Yeah.
Okay. Are they still in Israel?
No, we all live in the States now.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think it's, again, I'm very thankful for you coming on my show and just kind of talking about who you are and what the furry community is about. And again, you answered so many questions for me, and I really, really appreciate your time.
Oh yeah. I'm very open about everything. I'm a very open human being in general. Like, people can ask me whatever questions they want, and I will do my best to answer. There are some questions I can't answer because of my background.
Okay.
But I love being on this podcast.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on. I mean, you're an amazing guest. I really appreciate your time. And if this episode resonates with somebody that you know, or if you think somebody would be interested about the furry community, please share it. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, please do. And don't forget to go check out Mika's TikTok page. I will put the link to his page in the description of this video, or the audio that you're listening to, and check it out and tell him hi and tell him that you've seen his interview on my podcast. So thanks so much for listening, everybody. And thank you for being on again.
And thank you guys for hearing me. I'm a little bit awkward, but it was a pleasure being here.
Nope, you were perfectly great. You were a fantastic guest. So thank you so much. Thanks everybody for listening.
No worries.